Hey, good evening, Midwest Survivor. Time for dinner chat. So first off, I want to say thank you to everybody that has subscribed to the channel thus far. We're up to 26 subscribers. We are 24 away from our big giveaway. First 50 subscribers will receive a free 30-minute session of coaching with Midwest Survivor, which is me. There'll be a first prize, second prize, third prize of a $50 Amazon gift card, and then $25 gift cards for the second prize and third prize. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. The coaching sessions will be done via Zoom. Once we start the giveaway, we will do. I will reach out to you with Calendly and schedule your session, your free session with me, and we'll be able to start coaching. And it's a free 20-minute session, and we can do coaching on various topics, and we'll have some other things to give away as well. So tonight's dinner chat is why your boundaries make toxic people angry. So have you ever noticed that the moment you finally say no, somebody suddenly has a problem with you? And maybe you stopped answering the phone calls, maybe you stopped explaining decisions, maybe you told someone you can't speak to me like that anymore. Maybe you decided that your time, money, privacy, relationships, and peace were no longer available for someone else to control. And suddenly, you've changed. You're selfish. You think you're better than everybody. Why are you treating me like this after everything I've done for you? Well, here's tonight's dinner chat. So why do boundaries make some people angry? So grab dinner, grab coffee, grab a glass of tea, and let's pull up a chair and talk about it. Boundaries reveal what people were benefiting from. Sometimes people aren't angry because your boundary was unreasonable. They're angry because the lack of boundaries benefited them. Think about it. If someone could call you anytime, you always answered. If someone could borrow money and you never said no. If someone could insult you and you always forgave it without requiring change. If someone could interfere in your personal life and you always tolerated it, your boundary changes the arrangement. Suddenly, the access they once had isn't automatic anymore. And that's when you discover something very important. People respected you only when respecting you didn't require anything from them. Boundaries aren't punishment. A healthy boundary isn't a punishment. I'm going to hurt you because you hurt me. A boundary is, this is what I will and will not expect in my life. There's a difference. You're not controlling me, and you're not controlling another adult by saying you can't yell at me. You're explaining what you'll do if yelling continues. For example, if this doesn't change, I'm going to have to step away. If this conversation becomes disrespectful, the conversation is at an end. That's a boundary. You're not controlling their behavior. They can continue yelling, but whether you decide whether or not you're going to participate and remain there, that's personal responsibility. Toxic dynamics depend on predictability. Unhealthy relationship patterns often develop because everyone learns their role. One person explodes, another person apologizes, another person gives in, another person guilt trips, another person changes their decision. Eventually, everybody knows how the dance works. And then one person stops dancing. Finally, you say no. And suddenly the entire pattern gets disrupted. Guilt trips don't work. Manipulation doesn't work. Silent treatment doesn't change. Anger doesn't make you surrender. Accusation doesn't make you start explaining yourself for an hour. That's when resistance can increase because the old method isn't producing the old result anymore. You've changed. Maybe you have. That isn't automatically a bad thing. Maybe you've learned that consistently sacrificing yourself isn't healthy. Maybe you've learned that love doesn't require unlimited access. Maybe you've learned that love doesn't require unlimited access. Maybe you've learned that forgiveness doesn't eliminate accountability. Maybe you've learned that being kind doesn't mean becoming somebody's doormat. And maybe you've learned that peace isn't the same thing as avoiding conflict. Sometimes when people say you've changed, what they really mean is you're responding differently than what they are used to. And sometimes that's exactly what healing looks like. Guilt is often used to break against boundaries. One of the fastest ways to break someone's boundary is to make them feel guilty for having one. Family should always be there for family. Real friends, family shouldn't always be there for family, or should always be there for family. A real friend wouldn't do this. If you love me, you would do this. If you love me, you would understand. Christians are supposed to forgive. After everything I've done for you, you've done this to me. Notice something? None of those statements necessarily address whether your boundary is reasonable. Instead, they attack your character and your choices. You're defending whether you're a good person. And once you're defending your character, the original issue disappears. And don't lose sight of the original conversation. Boundaries can expose entitlement. Healthy people may not always like your boundaries. That's important. Someone can disagree with you. Someone can feel disappointed. Someone can even feel hurt. That doesn't automatically make them toxic. The important question is, can they respect your decision even when they don't like it? And that's the difference. Entitlement says you don't have the right to tell me no. And when someone believes they deserve unlimited access to your time and attention, money, emotions, personal life, boundaries feel like something is being taken away from them. But access to you isn't an automatic right. Families do not cancel boundaries. This is especially difficult with family because people sometimes grow up believing that's your mother, that's your father, that's your brother, that's your sister, their family. Yes, family relationships do matter, but being related to someone doesn't create permission for disrespect, manipulation, humiliation, financial abuse, or emotional abuse. You can love your family and still have boundaries. You can help people without allowing yourself to be exploited, and you can forgive someone without giving the same access they previously had. Forgiveness and access are two different things. Church and leadership need boundaries too. This principle applies in religious environments. Respecting spiritual leadership doesn't mean surrendering your ability to think, question, or make personal decisions. Pastors, ministers, church leaders, and religious organizations should not hold unquestioning obedience simply because someone holds a title. Healthy leadership can handle reasonable questions. Healthy leadership understands accountability. Healthy leadership does not need fear to maintain authority. And saying, I'm comfortable with this isn't rebellion. Sometimes it's wisdom. Your boundary doesn't need a 30-minute defense. This is something that many people struggle with. We say no, then we immediately start explaining. No, because, and then comes 5 minutes of justification. The other person challenges the explanation, so we explain again. Then they challenge that explanation. Before long, you're practically presenting evidence in court. Sometimes, no, that doesn't work for me is enough. You don't have to write an essay defending every personal decision. The more you over-explain, the more someone has determined to change your answer and has material to argue against. Expect resistance when you change an old pattern. If you've spent years without boundaries, don't expect everyone around you to immediately celebrate when you develop them. Some people will adjust. Some will respect you more. Some relationships may actually improve. Others may push harder. They may test whether you're serious. That's why consistency matters. A boundary you abandon every time somebody gets angry isn't much of a boundary. You don't have to become cruel. You don't have to scream. You don't have to retaliate. Sometimes strength sounds incredibly calm. I understand you're upset, but my answer is still no. Boundaries are not walls. We also need balance. Healing does not mean building a fortress around yourself. A wall says nobody gets close to me. Healthy boundaries say you can be close to me, but here's how we treat each other. There's a major difference. Boundaries are designed to aren't designed to eliminate relationships. They are designed to help create healthier ones. Your boundaries should apply to you too. And if you expect people to respect your boundaries, you also need to respect their boundaries. Pay attention to who respects your no. You can learn a lot about a relationship when you start saying no. Pay attention. Who asks questions respectfully? Who accepts your answer? Who tries to understand? Who immediately becomes hostile? Who starts guilt tripping? Who recruits other people to pressure you? Who gives you the silent treatment? Who treats the relationship? Sometimes boundaries don't destroy relationships. They reveal relationships. They show you whether someone valued the relationship itself or primarily valued access they received through it. You don't have to become a villain. One of the hardest parts of establishing boundaries is accepting that someone may tell you a completely different story about you. You may become the selfish one, the villain, the difficult one, the one who changed, the one who abandoned everybody. You cannot control every version of yourself that exists in everybody's story. You can only control whether you're acting according to your own values. Ask yourself, am I being respectful? Am I being reasonable? Am I protecting something genuinely important? Am I willing to respect other boundaries too? If the answer is yes, you don't need universal approval. So let's look at tonight's discussion, tonight's chat. Your boundary isn't automatically wrong because somebody gets angry about it. Because someone's anger doesn't automatically make them toxic either. Look at patterns. Look at how healthy relationships allow disagreement. Look at how healthy relationships allow individuality. Look at how healthy relationships allow people to say no. Healthy relationships allow difficult conversations without threats, intimidation, punishment, or manipulation. And sometimes the people most upset about your boundaries are the people who benefited the most when you didn't have any. So remember, you can be compassionate and say no. You can forgive and still require accountability. You can love someone and still limit their access to you. You can protect your peace without attacking someone else's. And you don't have to apologize for learning how to stand up to yourself. So let's open our minds and ask ourselves some questions. Have you ever set a boundary and suddenly been told that you were the problem? What happened when you stopped giving in? I want you to share your thoughts in the comments, share your experience. Your experience may help someone recognize what's happening in their life. Midwest Survivor, always remember, I'm here to help you. I'm here to grow with you. I want to grow with you. I want to see you grow. And remember, we are going from just surviving to learning to thrive. So remember, subscribe to Dinner Chat, subscribe to the channel. You know, we talk about boundaries, we talk about emotional abuse, dysfunctional relationships, healing and rebuilding your life on this channel. If you want info on coaching, please reach out to me. You can reach out to me in the chat. You can reach out to me on the community. You can reach out to me on Facebook. You can reach out to me on Instagram, TikTok, and X. So Midwest Survivor, as always, stay healthy, stay strong, get strong, be strong, and remember, let's be healthy. And remember, you can say no and still be kind and polite. As always, I'll see you tomorrow morning for Breakfast Bits. Have a good day.